Howdy guys, figured I'd hop on here, finish up this drawing that I've been working on for way too long at this point. Just gotta do some quick checking of stuff and things. You know how it is. It won't take too long. So, yeah, I was putting off the gym, like going to the gym for a while, and I'd kind of grown a little bit acclimatized to not working out as much. I kind of abandoned the idea of having a visible six pack. If you ever have fitness goals when you're just starting out, realistically, I don't want my stomach to jiggle when I brush my teeth is a perfectly legitimate fitness goal to have. So to those of you who are new to this, I'm just going to do a quick sound check. Yeah. I've been very slowly putting this one together. Hey there, Wallop. Nice to see that the chat is still working. So I started this one just over a week ago. And I got a series of other jobs to plug away at as well. This one's sort of been hanging over my head as something I really wanted to have done by the end of the first week. But yeah, as I was saying, not wanting my stomach to jiggle when I brush my teeth, that was kind of like the first, weight loss goal. And it's since progressed from there. Like, I've gotten a lot better at doing the whole workout thing. But when you go from like working out regularly to like hardly at all, or not nearly enough, and I've mentioned this before in previous live streams, your body will return to its like natural weakened state. Like, I saw this excellent meme I'll just bring it up just real quick. I found it and I thought, you know what, that is absolutely worth saving. Um, yeah, it's unbelievable how much work goes into having a mid physique in a relatively clean house, and I could not agree more. I mean, I sort of have like loftier ambitions for, getting like really super buff or whatever. Because I've got a working holiday coming up where I am going to be swimming, or at least visiting a beach. And yeah, I was like, okay. I would kind of like to not have to worry about the beer belly sunburn. I saw the latest commercial for Toy Story 5. And it's fascinating, you know, how they've really been able to really keep that series going. Like, I'm genuinely impressed. Like, I bailed out of watching the series around Toy Story 4. I mean, granted, I was kind of at that age where going to see Pixar movies like that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. And like I'll admit that my interest in, Pixar movies, just movies in general, has waned over the years. Like, you do get to a certain age where you just think, you know what, I can skip that and be totally fine. And I think it really boils down to the fact that because I've been working for myself for so long, like, I don't really need to have like any shared pop culture moments with my coworkers to have something to talk about. And while yes, that is a little bit sad, it's not as big of a loss as you might think. Yeah, like I was saying before, my fitness goals have definitely been updated. I think when you find something that you're really wanting to achieve, and this for me, it comes from an old Marcus Aurelius quote where he basically just says, look, at the very least, even if you only have one opportunity to do it, make sure that you get into peak physical condition at least once in your life. Oh boy. I didn't mean to do that. And he's absolutely right. Like, I mean, if you have the ability and the time, and more importantly, you know, the self discipline to get yourself looking as good as you possibly can, you should absolutely do it. And that's the interesting thing, like June being month number 6, this is a perfect time of year for sort of mid-year New Year's resolutions. You know, some people are obviously purists about the whole thing and think, you know what, if it's not commenced on the 1st of January of any given year, then it's not worth doing. But I've got a different opinion about that. Like, you can start a New Year's resolution whenever you want. Because that's really the long and short of it. Pete Holmes, the stand-up comedian who used to do this bit where he dressed up like Batman, and did this other thing where he dressed up as Professor X and interviewed different mutants. You know, I'm just gonna. Weirdly enough, it's just not cold enough. But I can still show off the guns. It's always a good excuse to show off the guns. So that's what I've been working on. You know, building the live stream, getting the channel to its minimum criteria for monetization. That's kind of been the goal. Because I've had this channel for over a decade at this point, and yeah. Hey there, Leon Annika. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. Is it Leon or Leanne? And is it Annika or Anika? Because depending where you're from, the right emphasis on the correct syllable is very important. Ask any Carolyn or Caroline. Just a heads up, this is going live on YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Twitch. So if you're watching on any of those platforms, jump into the chat. Don't be shy to say hi and let me know where you're watching from. Had some interesting internationals over the last couple of weeks. Had this one guy tuning in from Algeria, of all places. So you never know your luck. And you can never be entirely 100% sure who's out there quietly watching. I must admit, some folks just prefer to lurk. Bit of the old bystander effect. Hey there, human guy 541. Absolutely, Reed. Here's a little shout out for you. No charge, obviously. It's completely free. Like, I grew up playing with Masters of the Universe figures as a kid. I was always like more impressed by the design work and just how much cooler the villains looked. Like, I wasn't really like that much into like He-Man himself or Man at Arms or Orko or any of the good guys. I just thought they were kind of bland and boring. And to this day, I still feel that. Like, you know, yeah, they were obviously, jacked as hell, but I just found, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And, Skeletor and Beastman and Merman and Stinkor and um, Hordak and all those guys and like I had like a whole bunch of them growing up because they were pretty cheap and they were fun little toys and stuff, and they all had like different gimmicks. Like Clawful had this gigantic claw that had like a spring-loaded mechanism in it, so it snapped shut. I have fond memories of pinching my thumb in that stupid claw. And I had a friend who lived across the road from me. He had a bunch of the figures too. I'm 99% sure he still has most of them. Like, and he had like the really cool stuff. Like he had, Battle Cat and um, oh, what else did he have? He had I think he had Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain, but I'm not entirely sure if he had both. This is me sort of casting my memory back to a time when, things were a lot simpler. And by simple, I don't mean, life was genuinely less difficult. Because I think when people get sort of misty eyed and remember what it was like when they were kids and they go, oh, it was simpler times. It was, but it was also it was difficult in a different way. And just because you weren't having to like make money and fend for yourself for the most part, like most 80s kids weren't expected to have a job until they were at least in high school. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so this is Soundwave from Transformers if he was a DJ. And I'm just doing the finishing coloring in part. Like the majority of this artwork it's like 95% done. This part is arguably the easiest bit. But yeah, I was more of a fan of like Hordak. I thought it was cooler. I had Hordak and Grizzlor and a few of the other ones as well. I remember getting Grizzlor wet a lot because I played with him outside and stuff, and his fur would end up like getting tangled and matted and just gross looking. Because Grizzlor was really the only character that I can think of that actually had fur. Like you had Mossman, which was just a version of Beastman with what's called flocking. It's kind of this velvet coating. And like quite a few of the characters had that, but Grizzlor didn't. Grizzlor had actual fur. Like it was fake fur, but it was still, more substantial than the flocking. I miss those days. I wouldn't go back to the 80s like ever though. Like I mean, I've made this argument before, but it really wasn't like as somebody who had first-hand experience of living through that decade, of being born into it and, living through it. Hey there. How's it going? Good to see ya. Yeah, because I mean, I've made this rant before, but it bears repeating. Like, I just remember the movies being scary, all the grown-ups seem to smoke cigarettes, and yeah, getting picked on a lot. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, this one, as you remember, I was gonna finish this like last week, and I was just like, yeah, picking at it here and there, and sort of being a bit like lazy with it and stuff. So this is finally getting it done, and posting it. I am doing very well. I did a 2 hour like gym workout session, and I got to tell you, yeah, that one was a lot more brutal than I think I was anticipating. I mean, do you ever just like go for a run and you sort of get like into that whole sort of jogger's groove and everything, and you think, oh, this is great. I'm having an absolute blast, and then you finish after a half an hour just pounding pavement and everything like that, and you just realize how sore you all of a sudden are. That was me today. I mean, obviously, I am not as out of shape as I was back when I first started working out, but when you sort of like don't like keep up with it for at least 6 months, it can creep up on you. It just does. I like the little the kitten emojis. Those are adorable. Oh look, I mean, it just has to be done. I made a promise to myself, and that's the thing. Like, it's also an excuse to get out of the house. Like, if you've got like an active gym membership, like being able to have somewhere else to go is an absolute blessing. I highly recommend it. Do you have a bunch of cats or just one? I got a mate who has three, and it's kind of a bit awkward, when you got a buddy who's a cat lady, because you don't really know what to call somebody like that when they're like a guy. 'Cause, I mean, for a girl to own like more than one cat and look after like a little bunch of cute little feline friends. I mean, just call her a cat lady and go about your day. But when it comes to a dude with the same kind of preference for, you know, a pet, there's no real like equivalent word to call him, you know? You have six cats. Wow. Goodness. That's a lot. And coming from a guy who has never owned a cat for like as a pet for any longer than I think about a couple of months, um, that's saying something. Like when I was a toddler, my first pet was actually a cat. Is a little kitten, little marmalade tomcat called Henry, and he ran away, and I've never owned a cat since. Yeah, it's fascinating because like dogs, you can train them to do cool stuff like rescue people and attack like criminals and everything and detect um, like contraband and people's luggage and stuff. And but cats you can't really train to do anything except like some really basic stuff. I was watching on TikTok. There was this guy who had figured out cat language, and he figured out how to like talk to cats as cats like would talk to each other. And it's fascinating because they have a very like understandable language that can be sort of comprehended by people and spoken by people as well. I mean, you won't be able to have like a proper sit down conversation with a cat where it will be like it'll be meowing at you and you'll be meowing back, and you'll have this great back and forth and really enrich each other's lives with oh, so what did you get up to today? Oh, really? You got distracted by a shadow on the wall and pounced on it. Ah, cool, interesting. You'll never have something like that. But this guy, he figured that you can say certain cat noises and the cats will respond. It's fantastic. Well, absolutely. Look, it's it's just a fascinating thing. Like one of the things I always found kind of strange about cats is, you know, they'll look at you, that they'll like walk up to a closed door, like, a screen door or whatever, and they'll want to go outside. They'll just look at you and say, "Oh, I'm just gonna give you that like longing, powerless. I don't have opposable thumbs, nor do I have the muscle strength to get this open by myself. Can you help me? Giant walking on his hind legs cat. Can you really really help me?" And then the second you open that sliding door so they can frolic in the garden, they just look at you and then proceed to not go anywhere. It's hilarious. It's like, didn't you want to go outside? It's like, yeah, nah, I'm good. Or they'll just run away. It's. I think they're honestly one of the most enigmatic and frustrating pets human beings have ever been able to semi-domesticate. Because I've seen those other videos where they say, oh, like ancient cats, they domesticated themselves. Like they thought, you know what, I'm gonna make this human love me, but I'm not gonna love them back. But yeah, shelter and food do seem like a good trade-off for occasionally bringing them a dead rat. And half of the cats don't even do that. But yeah, cat psychology is a fascinating topic. Like apparently when cats bring you food of any kind, like what they would normally eat, they'll go out hunting and they will go and get you something that they would normally eat. And you'll open up your front door and it'll have, a dead or dying bird in its mouth and say, hey, look, you eat this and you're gonna love it. And you just think, that's charming and everything, but no, I'm good, thanks. The only bird I'm interested in eating is like Kentucky Fried Chicken, but thanks anyway. Then you realize that they've actually killed an endangered species and you just feel guilty for the rest of the day. So, how do you deal with your cats? I'm guessing they don't take up that much space. I had a colleague who he adopted a greyhound. Beautiful dog. But it was a former racing dog. Like these animals, once their career is over, um, as something to bet on to see how fast it can run. Like they just get abandoned essentially, or taken to the pound or whatever. And yeah, he decided to adopt one of these very beautiful dogs. But the thing is, like, it is built for speed. It was bred for a very specific reason, and taking such a thing to the dog park was a whole thing because like they need a lot of room to run. Oh, that's cute. That warms my heart. That really, yeah, that makes me happy. It's looking after your kittens and being there for him. Get this reference back up again real quick. So what kind of cats do you have? Like what kind of breeds? Like my mate that I mentioned earlier, he only has these sort of long-faced Siamese cats. He's very proud of them, but like he's got this sort of very particular preference for this particular type of cat. I mean, the only thing that's associated with Siam is that particular breed of cat. A very old and somewhat derogatory term to refer to conjoined twins. And up until like the 1920s, that's what Thailand used to be known as. See, Thailand wasn't always Thailand. It used to be called the Kingdom of Siam. There's a whole history of why it changed its name, but essentially, I think it was just a really good marketing choice at the end of the day. I've never actually been to Thailand. I have heard good things, but then again, like, I have stumbled across some content creators that, talk about being Aussie and retiring to Thailand and how it's the place to go when you've finished your days as a working person and, want to be able to relax. Not necessarily own property, but enjoy a cheap but relatively high standard of living. Oh, you have a Siamese as one as well. You got Siamese, Persian, American short hair. And I'm guessing by domestic cats you just mean like just regular tabbies and mixed breeds and things like that. That is so cute. I love stories like that. Yeah, I miss having a pet. Like my dog died uh, nearly 8 years ago now. Haven't had a new dog since, and I don't think I'll ever have another dog. It's weird. Like I think with my lifestyle and how much I travel and stuff, Like pet ownership just seems cruel, so I don't bother. Yeah, I love when people genuinely loving and devoted to looking after their pets. As for me, like I just own fish. Like I've got like a fish tank. It's got some fish in it, and the thing is like I've built the fish tank to the point where it's a self-sustaining ecosystem. There's also like there's plants in there. There's like snails and stuff. There's all kinds of little bits of moss and stuff for them to eat. And yeah, it's a very low maintenance animal. Um, well, potentially down the track, but I don't think I'll ever own another dog. I think my owning days are over. I miss having a dog. I think they're really cool. I've never owned like a really like I never owned a really big breed or never owned a purebred. Every dog that I had growing up, my family got for free. So our first dog, my late uncle, his dog had puppies, and we got a free dog from him. He brought her over especially, and yeah, we had our first dog. I think I was like 6 years old. It was amazing. So cool having a puppy. Um, oh, what else? Our other dog was who died recently. I think we went like 15 years before we got him. Oh yeah, absolutely. Fish can definitely be somewhat high maintenance. The ones I have, they're fine. Like, they can go for weeks without me really needing to do anything. It's fantastic. But yeah, my other dog, he, we got him for free from my brother, who got him for free from a friend of his. And I'm like, oh, cool. We thought like the dog was going to go with my brother, who was about to move over to Canada from Australia. And no, he left, and the dog stayed with us. It was very cool to yeah, have a dog. Definitely a fur mum, a fur parent, as it were. So you have dogs as well. That's pretty cool. What kind of dogs do you have? Yep. Uh, mm, my dog, he was a mixed breed. He was a half Jack Russell and half. um, pug. So he was a Jack Russell pug. So he kind of had the same characteristics as a pug. Like he looked like a pug, but because he was, mixed with a Jack Russell, he had a slightly longer like muzzle, so he didn't have the same breathing issues and eye issues that pugs sometimes get because their faces are too short. He was a good dog. I miss him. Very difficult to train. Wasn't particularly good at really anything because those breeds, even the mixed ones, they inherit like the cool uniqueness of like their parents. Like like Jack Russells are usually full of energy and very yappy, and they're sort of terrier dogs, so they're very small. And pugs are like a toy breed, but they also inherit the weaknesses of both breeds as well. So there's that unfortunate reality. It came together rather nicely. Really happy with this one. Like someone chimed in a previous live stream and said put some speakers in the back, and that turned out to be absolutely a genius move. So if that person, if they're still subscribed, if they're still watching, thank you. That was, yeah, that worked out brilliantly. And my first dog was a full Jack Russell or a Jack Russell cross Foxy. I can't remember exactly. It was explained to me, but I think I was just so excited to have a dog for the first time. Wow. A Shih Tzu, a Jack Russell, a Bulldog, a Golden Retriever, a Dachshund, a Siberian Husky, and Askell. I don't think I've ever heard of an Askell before. It's definitely piqued my interest. I'm gonna do a quick search for that one, see what I can find. Oh, right. Oh, they're cute. Oh, look at them. Sort of reminds me a bit of a Shiba Nibu or Shiba Nibu or whatever they're called. Absolutely. But yes, I think that will do it for tonight. Once again, it's been an absolute pleasure to have everyone tune in and check out the live stream, guys. Once again, can't thank you enough. Everyone who just even showed up for a couple of seconds and just kept scrolling. I do appreciate you, and as I say in pretty much every live stream, of all the endless distractions and entertainment options online, you chose to spend some time with me, and I can't thank you enough. But yes, I will be back with another episode, another live stream very soon, and yeah, it won't be of this one. This one's finished as far as I'm concerned, and yeah, a new episode of Sketch Jam will be going up very soon. So hang out and check out that. And yeah, I'll see you guys